Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're tackling something that's surprisingly common, gingivitis.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those, what do they say, adulting problems?
Totally. But when we put out the call for topics, this one came up a lot. Turns out it's way more interesting than it sounds at first.
Right. I mean, nearly half of all adults over 30 have some form of it, but most people don't even know the half of it.
Yeah.
The stuff we dug into for this deep dive is, well, let's just say, you might never look at your gums the same way again.
No kidding. So for those who maybe haven't thought about gingivitis since that one health class video in middle school, what exactly is it?
Simplest terms, it's like stage 1 of gum disease, that plaque that builds up on your teeth.
Ugh, yeah, the sticky stuff.
Right, so if it doesn't get cleared away properly, it irritates your gums. That's where the redness, swelling, sometimes even bleeding comes in. And the thing is,
Go on.
early gingivitis, it can be sneaky. People often don't realize they have it until it's worse.
See, that's what gets me. That whole silent danger thing. I brush, I try to floss, most days. But to think that those simple things could be the difference between healthy gums and, well, something worse.
It's true, early detection is key here. Think of those early symptoms as like a friendly warning from your gums.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. Like, pay attention down here.
Exactly, because if you ignore it, gingivitis can turn into something much more serious called periodontitis.
Periodontitis. That sounds way more intense. What happens then?
We're not just talking about irritation anymore. With periodontitis, the toxins from the plaque start to break down the tissues and bones that support your teeth.
Wait, seriously?
Serious. You get gums receding, little pockets forming where more bacteria can hide.
Hold on, pockets? Is that why sometimes even after I floss, I still see some blood? I always thought I was just doing it wrong.
Could be. But those pockets are like little havens for bacteria, and once they form, it's a whole other battle.
Ugh. Okay, not what I wanted to hear, but good to know. So we're talking receding gums, bacteria hideouts, anything else?
Well, if you really want to get into it, the actual process involves some pretty wild stuff. Like, there's this buildup of subgingival calculus below the gum line, and these enzymes called collagenases that basically break down the collagen in your gums.
Okay, you know what? Maybe we don't need all the details, but I think you've made your point. This is way more complex than just brushing away a little blood, right?
Exactly. Understanding the mechanics of what's happening makes it clear why ignoring gingivitis is a bad idea.
Okay, so gingivitis is way more intense than it sounds, but what actually causes it in the first place? I'm guessing not brushing your teeth is probably up there, right?
Bing, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You got it. That's like public enemy number one. You're basically rolling out the red carpet for plaque when you don't brush and floss.
Yeah, okay. No judgment for me. I've definitely had my forget to floss nights. But what about the less obvious stuff? Our listener sent over some research that had some wild risk factors I'd never even heard of.
Oh yeah, it's not all just brushing 101. For example, did you know smoking is a huge one?
I mean, I know it's bad for you in general, but for your gums too.
Big time. It messes with your body's ability to heal, so treating gum disease becomes way harder if you're a smoker.
Wow, so quitting smoking isn't just good for your lungs, it's good for your gums too. Okay, what else is on the list? Stress. I swear, everything comes back to stress these days.
Right. And it's not just that stress might make you crave sugary snacks, though that doesn't help, but chronically high stress, it actually weakens your immune response, even in your gums.
Wait, so my body's too stressed to even deal with my gums? Seriously?
Seriously, those stress hormones, they can make your gums way more vulnerable to infection.
Wild. Okay, this next one is a bit of a curveball, hormonal changes. What do hormones have to do with your gums?
More than you'd think, especially during pregnancy. Get this. Somewhere between 60 and 75% of pregnant women experience gingivitis.
75%. That's what, 3 out of every 4 pregnant women?
Pretty much.
Mm.
Those hormone shifts during pregnancy, they make your gums super sensitive and prone to inflammation.
Wow, that's way more common than I realized. Okay, so we've got hygiene, smoking, stress, hormones. Anything else our listeners should be watching out for?
Don't forget about dry mouth. It's not always about not drinking enough water. Some medications can cause it, even certain breathing habits.
Oh, right, like how your dentist is always telling you to stay hydrated.
Exactly. Saliva is super important for flushing out food and neutralizing those nasty acids. No saliva, more plaque, more problems.
It's all connected. Speaking of connections, what about nutrition? Is this just a sugar is bad situation or what?
Well, sugar is bad, yeah. But it's bigger than that. Think of it this way. If you're eating a balanced diet, your body has all the tools it needs to fight off infections. including in your mouth.
So it's not just about brushing, it's about managing stress, watching your meds, staying hydrated, and eating your veggies.
Pretty much. It's a whole body approach to oral health.
So basically, we're talking about a whole lifestyle approach, not just a tube of toothpaste, which I guess is kind of empowering. Like, we have more control than we think.
Exactly.
But once the damage is done, once you've got gingivitis, is there any going back? Can you actually reverse it?
Okay, good news time. Gingivitis is often reversible, especially if you catch it early.
Okay, that's a relief. But how? What do you actually do about it?
Well, no magic mouthwash, if that's what you're hoping for. But the treatments are usually very effective. It's a two-pronged approach, really.
Two prongs. Okay, I'm listening.
That's the prong one. Got to see your dentist or hygienist for professional cleaning.
Yeah, that makes sense. But how's it different from, just brushing and flossing really well at home?
It's way more intense. We're talking about removing plaque and tartar, even below the gum line. They've got special tools for that, like scalers to scrape away the tartar, and sometimes they do this thing called root planing, smoothing out the tooth roots.
To make it harder for the bacteria to, reinvade, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as important as that is, that's just prong one. Prong two is all you. Home care.
Okay, so the dentist does the heavy lifting, then it's up to us to keep things clean.
Exactly. Brushing, flossing, the drill. But it's more than just a chore, right? You're literally disrupting that bacterial biofilm with every brush and floss, making your mouth a much less hospitable place for those troublemakers.
I like that, making it inhospitable. This has been such an eye-opening deep dive, really. Thanks to our listener for suggesting it.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Before we wrap up, any final words of wisdom from the gingivitis guru?
The thing I find most fascinating about all this is that it really shows how connected our mouths are to the rest of our bodies.
Right. We talked about stress, nutrition, hormones.
Exactly. It's all related. So, yeah, taking care of your gums, it's not just about having a nice smile. It's about your overall health.
So much more than meets the eye, which I'm sensing a theme here is kind of the case with a lot of health stuff we think we know. Well, listeners, you heard it here first. Or maybe not first, but definitely in a way you haven't thought about it before. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, everyone.